Hello and welcome back to my channel. As always, I am Matt from Cleveland Sex Therapy. I'm a licensed clinical therapist and certified sex therapist. Today, I wanted to talk about a sexual annoyance and dysfunction that a ton of vulva owners can experience. Although I am not a fan of labeling it a sexual disorder, unfortunately, it is one that a lot of people can experience. So sit back as I examine vaginismus and its impact on vulva owners. A couple things to note here. One, you're going to hear me using terms like vulva owner and vagina owner, right? And I use this when referring to women. It just provides a little bit more flexibility around gender. And two, I don't have a vagina, so I don't have this lived experience or know exactly what it's like or what it feels like. In this video, I am speaking from the standpoint of a sex therapist who has done a ton of research on the topic and has worked with many women and vulva owners who have experienced it. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Vaginismus is the involuntary tensing and contracting of the muscles around the vagina. It can also be described as a squeezing of the vaginal walls that makes it really hard for anything to be inserted. From something as small as a tampon to as big as a human penis, what happens is the vaginal walls close up shop and don't let anything in. Usually the sensation that's reported is some sort of pain. And this pain can range from a dull ache to a sharp stabbing one. So there are many reasons why vaginismus can occur in a vulva owner. When we look at some physical and biological reasons why they can occur, there are many. We can point to such factors as tissue irritation, skin disorders like eczema, and hormone imbalances like entering menopause. We can also look at insufficient lubrication of the vulva and vagina as a reason as well. The vagina does lubricate itself, but the older that we get, this can just happen less and less. More physical reasons why vaginismus can happen can be due to living a physical lifestyle and having a traumatic impact to the area, infections such as a UTI or an STI, and quite frankly, a traumatic birthing experience as well. While most of these physical and biological factors can be noticed and fixed with minor changes, the psychological factors that follow tend to have the biggest influence and determining factors when experiencing prolonged vaginismus. A great place to start would be assessing the shame-based messaging that women receive about sex and their bodies. Women learn from an early age that sex should be painful and that this is a normal experience to have. Quick note, absolutely not. Sex should not be painful at all unless we are consenting to that pain. Pain is your body telling you, we may not want this right now. There is a huge lack of knowledge around sex and sex education, and it impacts all of us, but specifically vulva owners. Religion can also play a role as well, right? Sex is seen as wrong, dirty, sinful, and shameful. Sex is also seen as dutiful in a lot of religions, and vulva owners feel a ton of pressure of adhering to those standards. It is my job to provide sex for my partner. That outlook can cause a lot of women to not look inside and think about what do they actually want to get out of a sexual encounter. And when we look at just some other psychological factors, they include relationship conflict, stress and anxiety, and fear of penetration due to past trauma. Regardless if the causes are purely physical or there are some psychological origins as well, there tends to be a negative feedback loop that is experienced once pain is felt. And this negative feedback loop results in avoidance of sex, fear of sex or an insertion of an object in the vagina, decreased sexual desire, symptoms of depression and anxiety, and quite frankly, an avoidance of talking about sex. Once that pain is experienced, it's really hard for us to think that it won't be experienced again. And thus, vaginismus is born. One of the first things you want to do is contact your PCP or your OBGYN. They will be able to run tests, take blood work, and rule out any physiological influences. From there, my hope is that they will refer you to two people. One, a pelvic floor physical therapist, and two, a sex therapist. Why? Because these are the two people that are going to help you feel more confident and comfortable in your body again. A pelvic floor physical therapist has a specialty in helping individuals strengthen the pelvic floor area. This happens in both penis owners and vagina owners. We all have a pelvic floor, and that physical therapist can help you strengthen and understand that area. You will engage in both physical strengthening exercises to improve strength in the pelvic floor, as well as relaxation exercises to help relax the pelvic floor. Typically, the provider will insert 2 fingers or an instrument into the vagina and work in a clockwise motion to identify any knots or tension in the pelvic floor, then massage them to release the tension. They may also externally massage the stomach or core area, where knots can build up and tighten the pelvic floor. This may seem scary, but a lot of what they do helps you get in alignment with your body again. Other treatments that pelvic floor physical therapists may do with you is recommend Botox. Botox is new and has been shown to really help those muscles relax and those knots sort of unwind themselves, as well as using dilators. While you can work with any therapist on this issue, working with a sex therapist really allows you to dive in to the sexual shame that you may be experiencing due to this sex-negative, puritanical culture that we live in. With this person, you will process whatever mental blocks, beliefs, or experiences that you've had that you believe may be impacting you. Listen, this can be such a frustrating experience. Like I said, I don't know firsthand, but I've talked with many women who've experienced it. But let me tell you, this is not the end of penetrative sex. There are so many options and solutions for you out there. I would recommend finding books, listening to podcasts, and talking to other people to see if they've experienced similar sensations as you. Remember, the perception of safety and relaxation goes a long way in helping us feel arousal. Struggling with vaginismus does not have to be a life sentence. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'm curious if any of you have ever experienced pain or vaginismus and what that was like for you. Please comment down below. I would love to hear your stories and experiences. Until next time.